The following video contains the views solely of the directors involved and do not represent the views of Machinima and/or its affiliates. The producers of the Triple Threat Show strongly urge viewers to refrain from harassing or being negative towards the directors involved in this video. The video is simply meant to create a discussion regarding copyright strikes and giveaways in the YouTube community. What is going on, guys? Welcome to the Triple Threat. My name is Tubby Emu, and of course, Tony Pizza Guy.
What's going on? We need to cut right into the chase on this one. I think we heard both sides, Tubby, isn't that right?
We heard both sides in the last video. The first one, actually, Ghost Robo gave his thoughts. The last one, Nova came in and dropped a bombshell, kind of left us hanging where we're going to go. So let's start it off. We have both of the guys on. Nova, what's up, man?
What is up?
And then we got Ghost Robo.
What's going on, guys?
And both these guys, it's kind of a center of controversy. So, Ghost, why don't you go ahead and just kind of respond to what you've heard? And
yeah, sure. I think it's totally valid, and I don't think giveaways are the holy grail nor the hell's bane. I think it's sort of like if I run a basketball team and you run a basketball team, and I decide to give my players custom headbands, and you decide to give your players not custom headbands, who knows? My team could still suck worse, or your team could be better. I think it's just different approaches, and I don't think that there's really anything wrong. One thing that I do agree, I think if you're going to do fake giveaways, if you're going to do giveaways just to sort of proselytize yourself and say, subscribe to me, I'm so great, look at my giveaways. Again, I mentioned that in my part about if your content is going to change because of the giveaway, I think there's a serious issue there. But if your content's not going to change, as you're a growing channel, maybe your subscribers aren't used to liking or favoriting your videos, or maybe you haven't been on there for as long, so you don't have as quote loyal of a following. And I definitely think that's great. I think having a strong subscriber base is the most important thing, and if you can make those people feel a big part of it and really interact with them, I think that's fantastic. And whether you do it via giveaways or you do that via setting up a PO box or however you want to do it, I think they're all acceptable as long as it's handled in an appropriate way. And that's kind of the same with everything, with every kind of video. Like you could go out there and make Black Ops single player playthrough a 200-part series by posting 2-minute videos, but is that really caring for your subscribers? Not really. So I think as long as you're carrying out your channel in a way that is respectful and appreciative of the people that are supporting you, I think it's perfectly okay either way.
Not so if not just you're going out just to get money, you're doing it to actually reward your followers. Now, both of you guys, I don't know how, when I do a walkthrough or anything, especially like my universe mode or anything, I can't stand to do a video more than 10 minutes, and yet I see some of you guys doing like half-hour videos. What goes into that? I mean, do you just seriously, your rendering time must be amazing, because for a 8 to 10 minute video for me, it takes about 12 minutes to render.
That just goes with doing it for a while and constantly, because I had a shitty computer at first. So, after working into it like over the years, I just got myself a better computer. Rendering time isn't really too much of an issue. It might be, there for maybe for some bits and stuff, but upgrading my internet, upgrading my computer, getting new equipment, like that's just all part of the process that you're bound to get there eventually if you work hard enough to get there.
Yeah, and I think doing it live has a lot to do with it, because sometimes I'll be in the middle of talking about something, and even if it's a good point to stop them at a big door or whatnot, it's like, well, I gotta finish what I'm saying. Or if you're playing the game and you're shooting for a 12-minute video and then you hit a cutscene that lasts 7 minutes, you're playing Metal Gear Solid, or you're playing Deus Ex has some decently long dialogue options and things like that, where it's like you don't really want to just stop and be like, oh, that's the video, guys, we're gonna hold you at a huge cliffhanger. So I think that kind of goes a lot. Recording it live and with live commentary, sort of for me, is what dictates the length of the video.
Now, both of you guys do pretty similar content. Now, I'm not going to, put people against each other, but what is the biggest thing that, obviously, both people have different approaches. You guys both do walkthroughs. Nova, you do tons of different kind of games. Ghost Robo, you guys do tons of different games. How much planning goes into what content you're putting up? Because I know, James, you balance like 7 games at a time, 7, 8 games at a time. Ghost, you kind of do the same thing. How do you guys manage that? I mean, with everything that's going on, how does that happen?
I don't. Well, I do have a lot of series going on right now. I just kind of like I predict on how long it's gonna take before I start adding in more, which I'm kind of bad at, because I end up having like you said, like 7 going at the same time, and they're usually like really long games, so I have to like pause one while I get to the other. And I don't know. I like if there's a game that I really really want to do, I don't care how much shit I have on my plate, I'm gonna do it. And some newer games I might be like anticipating because I kind of stopped looking, like on websites and stuff like that and researching games because I just kind of want to see them as they come out. Like I know what the big hit games are gonna be. Like Skyrim was announced. I'm like, okay, new Elder Scrolls. I know that I want to play that, but I'm not really like actively looking for gameplay or anything new, like information wise or anything like that. I just want like when the game to come out, I just want to play it and know nothing about it and just be engulfed pretty much by the game itself.
That's big. That's pretty big. I know, like, I saw one of Ghost Robo's video and Ghost. Now I know a lot more planning goes into your videos, right? You kind of plan months ahead of time what games are coming out, what you're gonna do.
Well, yeah, but I mean, before any of this YouTube stuff even happened, like I'm a humongous gaming fan of all games. I know, like some people just do Call of Duty, and I've even heard some YouTubers say they don't even consider themselves a gamer. They just love Call of Duty or love Madden or whatever they love. But before this, I played every game. So even if I have a lot on my plate, like I'm not going to change my habits. I'm not going to all of a sudden stop listening to podcasts and stop getting excited about new games that are coming out. And so I try to plan ahead, just like he's mentioning for preparation and say, okay, how much can I handle and how much can't you? And of course, it goes wrong and crazy sometimes. Had this glorious plan for E3 coverage of doing sort of a recap of every press conference, and my mom collapsed on the floor and I had to rush her to the hospital. Like, well, there goes my E3 coverage. I missed the press conferences, and other people got it up and whatnot. But I think that you got to sort of plan it out just to gauge. Otherwise, the worst thing is to have 500 part ones, and then you end up with all these series and all these people confused and sort of like, what the heck are you doing?
Now, I think one of the big things, like this is kind of off script and kind of random, but this is something I've noticed where Nova, when you have a devout following, people that will watch your stuff no matter what, you don't really have to worry about putting it out right when the game comes out. You can pretty much put up a video, and if you agree with me, you can put it out whenever, versus guys like Ghost Robo that a lot of times they rely on search engines and people looking for walkthroughs. Ghost, is that how
I still do, I still do tags and stuff like that. Like, even though I probably could start a walkthrough later than, a smaller channel or something like that. Yeah. I do still like stuff like that, like tags and, phrases, stuff like that to get your videos searched more. Yeah, I still do that. There's tons of ways that you can grow your channel, without giveaways and stuff like that. Tons of ways that you can grow your channel without having to do anything like that. And it's, perfectly legitimate.
Yeah, like I know, like I can't remember what game it was you just put up that was out a little later, and it still got mass amounts of views. I can't think of it off the top of my head. Versus guys that, I mean, I know Ghost, you're out there at midnight, you have footage within the first hour of the game going up, and I think Nova, you've probably done that too at some point in time.
It is. Yeah, some people do look for it, but your stuff does get mixed up, like in the search engine or something like that. Like just because somebody has, because you have to be consistent as well. Like if you put up the first video of a series just because the game came out, somebody else could upload like 5 parts after you. Their 5 parts will probably cover yours up. Like it's not like just because you put up the first part and you were the first one to do it, everyone's going to yours. Like you have to be like, quick overall. You have to be consistent with it overall and constantly stay in the search engines as, the search engines keep going, because people are going to cover your stuff up because you're obviously not going to be the only one doing that game.
And that's what I see when I see Ghost stuff, Ghost, Rad Brad, all these guys that do it, they put it up instantly, and they kind of rely on that. Like I know with Ghost, you said your views were kind of lacking because of the whole strike thing, and you're kind of delayed. Do you think that's made an impact on you with the strikes?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think when you're starting off, you gotta think of it. You're like a 2-inch tall person, and you got these 10-foot tall giants, and if you don't beat the rush, you're gonna get there's virtually, if you don't get it up early, I think when you're real just starting out, there's no way you're ever gonna gain any traction. And so I sort of built that habit early and just stuck with it. And I enjoy going and getting the games at midnight. It's something that I'd probably be doing anyway. I'm super psyched for the game. I want to go get it and play. But yeah, if you get a copyright strike like that, and the search engine is so weird because you'll be at the top of the search page and think, okay, I'm doing good, and you'll come back an hour later and you're on the 3rd page. And it's not because someone just uploaded 30 parts. Sometimes the system just goes crazy and it usually balances out after a week or so or whatnot and levels out. But Yeah, the uploading of parts is definitely crucial as well. If you're going to do one part and then just sit there, I think whether you sit at the top or not, people are going to quickly see, oh my God, this guy has part 5, 6, 7, 8. That's where I'm shifting over.
Yeah.
So it's better to just rush the game and get as many parts done as you can right when the game comes out. Then is that what you're saying?
I don't think
You
that's
don't have to. You don't have to. Like that's what I was going back to what I was saying, I guess, in my video about, just having confidence in the stuff that you do. Like if you're gonna if you feel like you have to beat the rush every time, and you feel like not only do you have to beat the rush, but you got to stick a giveaway on top of the first video as well, it seems like you don't have enough confidence in yourself, that you don't have enough confidence in your entertainment value, in your content that you're making, that people won't, like that they'll dislike it or something like that, like right off the bat. Because like I said, I didn't do anything like that. I started out with Dead Rising 2, and I at that time didn't do anything with tags or anything like that. It was just people that came across and liked the way me and Spoon were meshing on the co-op, and people were like, it's funny. They subscribe. Like there's nothing extra that I had to put in there. I know that it's harder now to get up there, and like I said, there is legitimate ways to get your videos out there more. Whereas just going the extra mile, and you don't have to like try to.
Don't have to try and be first.
Yeah, you don't have to try to, be first and all that. You don't have to go the extra mile, pretty much is what I'm trying to say. Like, if your stuff is good enough, which is what I told the Rad Brad, I was like, your stuff is good enough, as is. Like, I legitimately watched some of his Dead Space stuff, and it was funny. I was like, you don't need you don't need any of that stuff. Like, your stuff is funny as is. People will find your stuff on their own, and they'll like your stuff. Now, if you want to give it a nudge or something like that with tags or annotations for likes, annotations even for favorites, even though I don't do that personally, stuff like that, completely fine. If you want to nudge it like that, you can even like the people post their stuff on Reddit, Twitter, Facebook, MySpace, wherever. Like people posted their embedded stuff everywhere, like so that way they can get it out there more. But
yeah,
like when it gets to the point of just like bribing the people, like you say you're the first person up, and then you on top of that have a giveaway attached to it, and like, oh, I bought 2 extra copies of the game so I can give it away. Just leave a comment on what console you want. So not only that, you got a bunch of favorites, and you got a bunch of comments of just people spamming what console they want over and over again. Like that's not producing like content or whatever. That's just like bribing these random people to come to your channel, which they leave right afterwards. Like they're gone. Like I said before, you look at vid stats, look at your jump on a giveaway video, you'll be like, whoa, like it's really high. Do a few videos without that, it'll go straight down. And then you feel like you have to rely on the giveaways. Like that's your crutch. You have to have those or you won't get enough views. And that's not a good way to build your channel. You want to have reliable people. You want to have people that you can have confidence in, that will like your stuff, favorite your stuff, and generally come to your channel regardless of you offering anything extra other than the entertainment.
Yeah, and I think that's totally true. Obviously people ask me all the time, what's the secret? How do you go from 0 subscribers to 50,000 or whatever, whatever people are 2,000, whatever they're shooting for. And the bottom line it boils down to is you gotta enjoy doing it, and so that comes through in your video, and people have to enjoy it. You may have a great time, and people might just hate your voice or something like that. And I think that ultimately those people are going to get out in front. I was just saying that when you first start, to get out early, to say, hey, here's my sort of throw up your card and say check me out. Then they can make their own choice. And obviously, I started out with Little Big Planet 2 and DC Universe Online, which were 2 sort of totally random games, and people enjoyed my stuff and sort of jumped aboard. But at the beginning, especially now when there's 50 walkthroughs of the same game, you gotta find a way to get your card out there first. And I didn't do giveaways or anything like that. I just tried to drive the store as fast as I could legally and get home as fast as I could legally.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, like I've stayed up on occasion. I've stayed up for games to unlock on Steam, stuff so that way I could get my stuff early enough that it would kind of be in there with the rush of videos. But like you said, just directly asking you, like you said yourself, that you enjoy doing what you're doing and all that. So if you have confidence in yourself and you have confidence in the videos that you do, so why do you feel the need that you have to do giveaways on your videos on top of that?
I guess there's sort of three main things. Number one, it quickly became a trend that with the people that were posting walkthroughs in the same games I was doing, the same fashion, we've got giveaways in their titles. And you can say, okay, you're not really competing with them, but at the same time, if I'm a 10 to 15-year-old kid watching Skyrim and I see that Joe the commentator is giving away 2 copies of Skyrim, that's going to be much more alluring. And not to say that that should be the draw for the giveaway, but at the same time, it's like the system has sort of been established. If no one was doing giveaways, then maybe no one does giveaways. But at this point, it's like giveaways are sort of a cool thing to do. I think people appreciate it. I haven't had anyone message me and say, "I hate you for doing giveaways. Why are you doing this? It sucks." And surely people get frustrated and they don't win. But
well, that's like I said, you're kind of off the radar, like with channel wise, like you're a smaller channel, building your channel up based off of this stuff. And you're not really to the point yet. Once you get to that level of, say, White Boy, where you have like 300,000 subscribers, that's when you're going to start to get, noticed more about doing these giveaways and stuff like that. Like I honestly haven't really seen, I mean, I don't know what channel specifically you're talking about, but I haven't really seen, I've seen you, I've seen Rad Brad, I've seen Media Cows, and I've seen one other channel that I can't really remember. But I haven't really seen that many channels that would be in some kind of major competition to jump the gun.
2 things. One, I started doing giveaways. One, I don't do them consistently. 2, I started doing giveaways after I gained majority of the following that I currently have. And 3, it's sort of just like, to me, it's just sort of a personal preference. It's like if you go to a birthday party, sometimes they give out a door prize or a goodie bag or whatever, and sometimes they don't. And it's not like that makes that birthday party better, or that makes that birthday party evil, or that makes that birthday party whatever. It just sort of is how it is. And for 99% of the people, they're not going to win the game, so it's like, whatever, big deal. And I think for my subscribers, they're going to say something on the video as well. I get a lot of comments that say, wow, this game is so cool, PS3, or I can't wait for the next part. When are you posting part 2? Are you going to stay up tonight? Xbox 360.
I know you keep saying, like, you sound like you really have confidence in yourself. So what is the need of the giveaways if there's people already commenting stuff like that? Like if there's people already saying when you're going to post the next part, like, I mean, like, I don't see the
what is the bane of the giveaways? What is if I get what you're saying in terms of why do I need giveaways, but why don't I need giveaways? Like what's the issue either way?
Well, I think it's kind of established also that if you have a person like, I mean, I don't want to say anything bad about anybody, like the Media Cows, every video I see, there's always, people that game it and put like demo at the very end, like when you can't see it.
Oh, no, they go with the extra mile, and I've seen that they put like giveaways on trailers and stuff like that. Like that's going to the extreme.
A lot of people do that. I see a bunch of people do that.
We can bring that up specifically if you're going to bring it up. There's a Modern Warfare video that says Modern Warfare 3 walkthrough, and at the very end it says demo whatever. It doesn't even say demo video.
Yeah.
It's the video from E3 this year, and it says Modern Warfare 3 walkthrough. It last time I checked a couple months ago, it was already at 1.5 million views or 2 million views or something. And when whether you're a small channel or a big channel, you want your stuff to do well, and so all of a sudden you're like, holy crap, there's this 2 million view giant, and when I try to do Modern Warfare 3, that's going to be so far up there.
Sometimes that's a problem in itself, though. Like, I mean, that doesn't, that's something that we got to fix collectively as the community, and not just like kind of be like, okay, well, they're doing that, so I'm going to do this, so that way I can, kind of get up there myself or something like that. Because in a way, don't you see like this is kind of stepping on the other people? Like I said in my video, the people that don't have the luxury to buy extra games to give away, like the people that are just doing their walkthroughs, they go out and they buy the game because they barely have enough. They barely have $60 because $60 is a lot for some people. They buy the game and they come back and they want to do their walkthrough. And then, somebody else, like, let's say you, for example, that you're doing a giveaway on yours and yours is suddenly like smashing theirs. Like what makes yours any different than theirs? They didn't have the luxury to buy the extra games to do the giveaway.
Right. I mean, I guess then you're banking on the fact that the only reason people are coming to watch the video is because they want to win a copy of the game. Because
exactly.
Which I strongly disagree with. Just in the same way, if you weren't able to post thumbnails and couldn't post some of the cool thumbnails you post, people would still come watch. but some people probably see that thumbnail. I can tell you a personal example. My brother, he's 17 years old. He's a senior in high school. He was on his iPhone and he saw your Keenan thumbnail and didn't know anything about you or who you were, but he automatically clicked on it. He didn't even know what the video was about, and he clicked on it because of a cool thumbnail. That's basically the same way someone thinks.
But
oh
it's
my God,
not like I built my channel off of Keenan Thompson thumbnails. Like
Well,
I haven't done that. I just started doing that recently. There's 4 videos with Keenan Thompson on. All the other ones are just
I know, but I have 770 videos, and I think maybe 6 or 7 of them have the word have giveaway. I'm giving away a game in the first part, so that becomes what 1% of my videos.
How many giveaways have you actually successfully done now? How many games have you gave away?
I'd have to write them all out and count them out, but I'd say maybe 6 or 7.
So you legitimately do the giveaway. I mean, there's always controversy, but it's not like they're fake giveaways. You're seriously.
Oh Jesus, no! I'll give you an example, and the
subscribers.
person might even be watching this video. I was going to give away Duke Nukem, and he wrote me and said, you know what? I got Duke Nukem from my parents, and so I already had the game to give him. And he said, is there anything you can do? And I said, sure, pick something on Steam the same, that's $50 or less, and I'll buy it for you. And he wanted Rift, and I was like, okay, great, sure, there you go. And I'm not, I'm not going to make any supposition about are people really giving away if they say, oh, it's a TV or oh, it's a system or whatever. But I mean, people have been so questioning about these giveaways. I'm half tempted next giveaway I do for Deus Ex here when I mail these games out. I'm gonna record it. I'm gonna film myself at the post office, putting the game in the padded mailer, writing the person's name on, I'll blank out the address or whatnot, and dropping it in the mailbox. And if people think that I'm gonna climb in there and take it out because I want my my $40-50 or whatever. And another thing to realize is that I understand that games are expensive. I understand that they cost a lot, but some people, like before I had YouTube, my like I said, I mentioned in my part, my parents are facing bankruptcy. My mom just had $100,000 surgery. I'm not loaded.
See, but you can't do that. You can't bring in like personal issues and try to use those to justify what you're doing on your channel, though, because I've had instances like that too. I said it in a video, like I don't mention it often, but I said it in a video. I said that if it wasn't for the YouTube money that I got, I would have lost my house and I would have been out in the street. Like, I don't bring that to the table and say like, okay, I need the money so bad, so I'm going to do these giveaways to, help cover for that. Like, other people have issues just the same, and they still don't have that luxury to get the games.
Totally understand that, but the point that I'm trying to make quickly here is that if you use things like eBay or use things like coupons, you can get a game for $20-30, and at that point, it's like it's just giving someone a smile on their face for a day, and it really isn't hurting anyone. There's no one who's being hurt. I'm not my your subscribers, my subscribers. They don't pay to watch our videos. I'm not backstabbing anyone. Yeah. I'm giving an opportunity. I mean, I guess I just don't understand what is the hate, unless you're saying that the only reason
because it does hurt the smaller channels that don't have the opportunity to do that kind of stuff.
So you would prefer that every channel stayed very small with 1,000 subscribers?
No, I would prefer that if people work their asses up like I had to do for 3 years and work my ass up, not doing stuff like that, just everybody on the same playing field, and not other people use these extra means to try to jump ahead.
I totally appreciate and I totally get where you're coming from, 1,000,000%. I just would wish that you would go watch my LA Noir walkthrough and say, is the reason that people subscribe because this walkthrough because on the first part he gave away a stupid copy of the game LA Noir that Rockstar copyright struck me and it took me forever to get back up, or because the content is good, and I'm fully 1,000,000.
I know, that's what I mean. Like I said.
Yeah, that's what he's saying, though. You don't need to put the giveaway on there in the first place because you should have it.
Why? What's bad? Why are they bad? Why is it bad?
I said that the little channels that are trying to get started do not have the extra $60 or extra $120 to go out and buy 2 extra copies of the game to give out. They're trying to build up their channels as if everyone's on a normal playing field and just trying to get themselves out there on their own, maybe using tags, maybe asking for likes and annotations, maybe asking for favorites and annotations, but not bribing people with extra games because they don't have that extra money to do. And like I said before, it sounds like you have confidence in your stuff. Like if I watch one of your videos, I might very well be entertained and I might subscribe to you for your entertainment. But how many people are subscribed for that entertainment? How many people are there? Go look at your vid stats and see what your giveaway videos do compared to what your non-giveaway videos do. How many people are there for the long run and aren't there, just for giveaways. Like, how many people, once you stop giveaways or something like that, are just going to vanish out on you?
I believe very, very little, and I'll use Radbrad as an example. His Dead Space 2 walkthrough has 400-some thousand views, and he had no giveaway on that at all.
No, because he's just started doing them recently. He didn't have it on.
And Dead neither Space. Did I. I started off in October.
Look at your channel. I'm looking at your channel right now. You have well over 6. You have Duke Nukem, LA Noire, Infamous, and you have multiple parts labeled as giveaways. Like part 3, all the way up to part 6 on Brink is still labeled as a giveaway. Like stuff like that. Like, why not just the first part?
But I think he still has where, I mean, I'm not trying to justify it here, but I think it's still part 1 and 2. Because don't you do it where you do one for each console in part 1 and 2? That's how you do it. Like part 1, you give away a game. Part 2, give away a game, and they have to go back.
I guess the bottom line for me is channels are going to grow. What do you say to someone who has 2 subscribers that gives away 20 games and they're rich and they legitimately give them away? Should they be shunned as well?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, if it's so horrible to give a copy of a game away to somebody, then I guess we should cancel.
It's not just giving a copy of a game away, though. It's not like just saying, "Oh, here's a copy of the game." You're asking for favorites and likes and stuff like that in return. That's the point. That's what is bad, and that's why the community is looked down upon, the gaming community, because of stuff like that.
So as long as you have good content, the content will speak for itself.
Exactly.
Now, both of you guys, regardless of this whole giveaway situation, both of you, you built an absolutely huge empire. Now I think you're like 230-some thousand subs. Ghost.
Yeah, one point I would like to just quickly make here is you're talking about the little guys. Well, compared to you, I am a little guy right now, so I don't think I'm not white boy with 600,000 subscribers giving away a new computer. I'm still very early on.
You want to talk small guys? I'm 2,700, so I'm a lot smaller, so I can make a hell of a lot more argument for that. And I'm content with what I get now. I make enough to pay, my rent, my car insurance, and I can help my parents out a little bit. It's not tons of money, and as much as I would love to get bigger, I don't feel like, I don't think giveaways are that bad if you don't do them all the time. If you do like one giveaway every couple months just to say thank you, I don't have a problem with that. I mean, as long as you're legit Robo, I honestly don't have a problem with it. Some people may view it as a problem, but as long as you're not raising the bar every time so it's like impossible to get a copy, I'm not really going to say like you're trying to say why is it so bad. It's kind of hard to say. It's pretty easy for some people to sit on their high horses to say it's not good. It's pretty easy for some of the smaller guys to complain about it all the time.
Well, believe me, I'm not. I'm not like like one of the bigger channels trying to shit on the little guy. Something like that. Because example story that I just went through a couple weeks ago. There was somebody that was stealing my tags, and they were just duplicating my tags over and over again, so that way they would appear in my sidebar. And I sent them a message directly, and wanted to talk about it. And right away, the impression they got was big channel trying to shit on a little channel. And I was like, no, man. I'm trying to help you out here. I was like, you don't need to do stuff like that. Like, look where I'm at, and I'm telling you,
I gotta take
like
down my
that.
Tags.
I got to this point without doing stuff like that.
And look, I know, like I said, everything is totally valid, and everyone, I know it's a huge controversial debate and topic, and I don't feel like you're shitting on a little channel or any means, but I just feel like, sometimes you do videos with SSOH PKC. Why do you do that? Why don't, if you're so confident in your content,
just do it like
there's a big difference.
I understand, but
friends. They mesh so well
also
together.
Understand that by doing that with your collective things, it's going to shoot up just in the way that you're claiming a giveaway.
I'm actually I'm legit.
But that's nothing wrong
I'm
with
working with him instead of doing giveaways or something like that. Like, you could do that perfectly fine. You could work with Tony Pizza Guy and keep going in each other's videos, and that benefits both of you. Like, that's actually trading back and forth. You're working with.
Let me ask you one question, and I know you guys probably got to wrap up here, but if I made a giveaway video and I got 50 views on the video, would you even care?
Yes.
You would. Why?
I still would.
Your argument was that I'm hurting other channels, but but what I'm trying to isolate for you is that the giveaway is not what you're angry about. Because if I got 50 views and wasn't shitting on any other channels and wasn't hurting any competition or whatever, then it wouldn't be an issue.
True. Yeah. Well, I guess it depends on that. You might have 50 views, but you might have like 3,000 favorites.
How could I?
YouTube works like that.
It's a huge debate, guys. If you want to keep up with the date, you guys can send us an email at ourtruthconspiracy@gmail.com. Maybe this whole thing is a conspiracy. Maybe it's everybody coming together
it's all
to
a
try
conspiracy.
to screw
I have to
everybody
jump
over.
in like a ref and break this up. Jeez, this got heated a second. Too many.
But I mean, either way, regardless of what happens, what's said, both of you guys have made a name for yourselves. Both of you have turned this into a legitimate business. I mean, you guys do what you love, and you're obviously making money at it. So, hats off to both of you guys. You both
I totally
do a
don't
great
think
job.
it should end like oh blah blah blah. I think I totally respect your opinion. I totally respect your channel. I like a lot of your videos. I watch a lot of your videos, and I just think that the whole YouTube community, from White Boy 7th Street to when CNNers and Hutch were into it, to Ghost Robo, to UberHaxorNova, if everyone just did it the way they did it and didn't worry about other people, I think it'd be a lot better.
That's what we're gonna have to
go. I would be able to.
It's like a 30-minute video.
We've gone from different time periods. We've gone from CNNers and Hutch not asking for any likes and anything like that, to the white boy who's asking for likes and all that and doing giveaways. Now, a mixture of both, where we have two different parties, where we have a group of people that are doing giveaways still and getting themselves up there, building their channel off of giveaways, and then we have the other groups of people that are sitting there busting their ass to,
Well, I mean, if you're gonna say I'm not busting my ass 'cause I'm doing giveaways, I mean that's.
Well, like I said, you seem like you're really confident in your stuff, but
okay, what happens? What happens if giveaways become the new hotness, and all of a sudden your views,
that's
hypothetically,
I will not jump on.
So if your views skyrocket, your vid stats all of a sudden, boom, you're down in the dumps because you're not doing giveaways, and 99.9% you're still not going to do giveaways.
Yeah, it's because it's not about that. Like, you in saying that is just saying, like, okay, I'm seeing the vid stats blow up, and that's what I want. But, like, that's not what it's about to me. It's about letting the content, like Tubby said, letting the content do the work for you, and having the confidence in your content and in your viewers that they'll do the work for you. Like, they'll like the video for you and all that, and that your content is good enough to deserve that like and that favorite.
All right, guys, this one went on for a long time. Just to kind of give one closing word, I'll let you guys just say like one or two sentences max. Don't go any farther than that. Just to kind of give your final thoughts, because this video went everywhere. This was a long one. Just close it off with a sentence or two.
Okay.
Ghost, why don't you go first, man? How do you want to?
My important thing is I work just as hard as anybody else, whether I write giveaway in the title or whether I don't write giveaway in the title. And my subscribers love my stuff. I love them. My content is good. I got here. I was not a partner to start. I didn't have a million games to give away to start. I got here the right way, just like anybody else did. And again, the point I want to emphasize is my content does not change one bit, whether I have a giveaway on it or not. And ultimately, me giving a game away is going to make somebody happy, and instead of this whole tornado of hate that we've created around giveaways. It's really, ultimately, if you think about it and look at YouTube and some of the other shady stuff that goes on with mistitling and whatnot, it really, really ultimately is just one person's going to have an extra good high five day because they got the game that they were watching from the person that they were watching that was putting out good content regardless of the giveaway or not.
All right, Nova, do you want to go into a paragraph? Regardless, it's been that
like
kind
I said,
of video.
it's down
to
to the audience.
What do you got to say?
And if you really feel that the person creating the content is good enough that they don't need shit like that, then let them know that they don't need to do stuff like that. That you will support their content if their content is good. Then you'll support their content no matter what, and you will eventually get to where you want to be without having to go through that, as long as you have the confidence in the videos you make and the confidence in your audience. Was that 2 sentences?
Awesome.
That was one run-on.
That's awesome.
Okay, good.
It's just there was no periods. No. Tony, anything you want to say
support
after
your
this long
local
video?
commentators, and
if you have a favorite commentator, make sure to don't make a big deal out of likes. I mean, it's something that it doesn't cost you anything.
No, likes and
Feel free to
favorites.
hit the like on this video if you guys
Annotations for
enjoyed
likes
it.
and favorites, fine. Stuff like that, tags, fine. Giveaways is what I'm talking about.
Unless I win the giveaway, then it's perfectly fine. Guys, once again, rtruthconspiracy@gmail.com. You guys can leave us a voicemail, 619-618-0268. That is free. It doesn't cost you anything unless you live far away, and then it might cost you something.
Just want to thank both
Tony,
of you for
anything
coming
you wanna
out.
say,
I
man?
know might have been like a boxing match at first trying to get both of you on here, but everybody validated their points. They said what they wanted to say, and I think there's an understanding here.
Yeah, like I said, it's absolutely wonderful that we were able to get both you guys on. Both of you speak your piece. Both of you guys are successful at what you guys do. And both of you guys can represent the YouTube community proud in some way or another. Thank you so much for being
My
on
pleasure.
Nova. Ghost,